All right, and Capricorns are the same. You know, Capricorn and Pisces have a very strong combo, and the mystical goat doesn't get mystical without the Pisces. And Capricorns are the same way. They fucking look after Pisces big time. So let's see what's going on with Caps. Well, we got the star card here. Woo! Look at that. Interesting. Tramp stamp star. But the star card is a great card because it is, of course, you know, after the tower card, but it is that moment of, okay, what's next? I got to follow the universe. And it's a clearing card, but it's a card that offers you the insight to, especially in love, you know, it's starting from a new field. It's almost like I'm kind of ready to start new. If you're in your relationship, it's like, can we just like reset this whole relationship? If you're dating, you're kind of like, I want to reset everything. Let me just like, you know, cancel all the plans I had or stop all the texts with all these people and let me start over. Let me see if I can bring something in new. But it also means like, you know, you want something fresh and new no matter what. You're not into what you're into and the way it's going right now, Capricorn. Your challenge card that you got is the solar return of age. And I think that part of that has to do with, one, maybe you feel like the person's not responsible enough. I feel that one a lot here. But I also feel like within you that maybe you're being a little bit too like you're holding responsibilities that you need to hold on to. And I think that's the issue. I mean, especially being a Capricorn with all this Capricorn, I think that the star card's offering you incredible, awesome moment here to realize that you don't need to be so old energy or deal with somebody who can't be old themselves. Or now you find somebody that can carry the responsibility, but they might not be vibing with you because you're coming across too old. You know what I mean? Like you're coming across too fucking like, you know, you got all this shit under control. And like, I think that at the end of the day, I think a lot of this has to deal with that your issue is you're not taking the real return of Saturn, which is the ultimate lesson of where are you blocking and restricting yourself from the ultimate moment of resetting into a beautiful thing where you've learned all the lessons, things are falling down, but you can move into, with the knowledge of knowing where things are going, into a beautiful, more divine place. I think that you're afraid to go into the universe with a more divine place for love. What did you pull for this? You pulled the King of Swords. I mean, I think you have to be very clear and be very clear on the communication that you want in your life. And you have to be willing to see the trajectory and go in that direction. And it's a little cold. And I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like you're going to have to be a little bit cold. You already are a Capricorn, but you know, not like the old kind of agey Capricorn, but just like the cold cut. This is where I'm going. And I know I need to go to a reset place and I need to go to a better place. And you know what? When you look deeply at this star card, it's like there is this kind of like feeling within oneself in the natural place, but there's the guy grabbing the booty, right? Like there's something about, and she is wrapped around him, there is that like new energy, that excitement, that youth feeling of love that is necessary, and you're clear if that's there or not, and you're clear where you're blocking yourself from that. You probably have those opportunities, but you might be playing fucking rules. You pulled sacrifice. So that's the thing, is are you willing to sacrifice the rules and play by the real rules? The rules of getting to that fucking exciting place that you want to be in love? Or are you just going to keep playing all these like fucking weird unwritten rules in yourself of like how like things should look and all this stuff? And you're missing out on a lot. You're missing out. You're in a relationship that's boring, especially not having that zest because you're not willing to speak up and be very clear in the direction that you want to be. Why did you get that star card? King of Cups. I mean, it's time for you to own the emotions that you want and have better control of the emotions that you want and be secure with where you're at. You're going to feel secure emotionally when you're at that spot, not when you're at like, I don't want to grab their butt. They don't want to grab mine. I don't know. We're not really into this thing. We're just kind of doing this because of the kid. We're trying to do this because of this. We're trying to do this because of that, or we're doing this for our religion, or we're doing this, you know, or I'm not doing it at all because, you know, I don't want love or da 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 da, or you know what I mean? Like, there's other things I could say, but they're politically incorrect right now in today's environment. You pulled the Eight of Swords. Well, this is the card of being sick and toxic and definitely restriction. It's like trapped too. And I think that you're trapped in what you know you see of where you want to go. You're trapped from where you want to go and what you want life to be like. And you have to cut through the trap yourself. You have to cut through, you have to take the blindfold off and you have to face that truth. But it's like, you know exactly what you want to feel. you got to sacrifice these rules and these like ways of how life should look and how you got to be responsible for these things. And that's what needs to go. You pulled the 4 of Pentacles. You're holding on to something either way too tight and you don't know how to let it go, or you're feeling like you really want something. And I think you're going through both. You're holding on to either rules or a person that, you know, is blocking you from it because you really want something magnificent and valuable and amazing and the ultimate coin to have. But you can't get that if you can't deal with letting go of the way that something is not a coin no more and that precious. And you look at this, veiled. Ooh, wow. Haven't seen her for a minute. You're keeping this secret. You're keeping this under wraps. And you're also keeping a blindfold on yourself. And you're holding yourself from that ultimate life that you want. So you're like staying behind the curtain instead of going to the curtain call and going on stage to the life that you really want with love. And that's not going to work anymore, Capricorn, this week. Especially this lunar eclipse is in your 6th house and in your 12th house. This is time to get the life that you want instead of staying in behind the curtain. Not going to work out like that anymore. That's what your South Node is. It's time to get the world that you want. It's time to get the love that you want. Stop fucking around. You did pull the 5th house Mars in Scorpio. Holy shit. This is definitely like needing that star card energy. And I'm not joking. Like that is Mars in Scorpio, sex and love and 5th house, right? Like let's look at those with this card, because this is what this is saying is like that energy is Mars in Scorpio in the 5th. Like I can't make that up. So are you going to find that? And if you don't have that, or you are choosing not to go in that, and some of the politically correct things I was going to say is like, you know, it's like interesting how people are like, you know, afraid to live their life because of all the things they're telling us to be. And like, well, I got to go do this. I got the holidays coming up. I got to, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like I can't do that or it's like, you know what? I don't know what medicine you fucking think is out there therapeutically wise, but fucking passion, love, excitement, and happiness is the fucking medicine to all life, not the way that they're telling you to be. And I don't care what anybody fucking says. Like, we all know that. We all feel that. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, the confidence and the passion is what can save us in this life. But somehow, for some reason, it's easier to fall in that fear. You know, it's easier to kind of believe that we're not capable of doing something, or just that allowing that fear to overwhelm us and overstep the confidence and overstep the passion too. And that's the worst aspect of it. When we have this passion to grow, we have this drive to communicate, we have this drive to progress forward in life, but yet there's this something about the fear that kind of holds us back, keeps us in this place, you know, and it doesn't actually let us fully express ourselves from the deepest aspects of our whole entire body, you know. And that again, that card is a perfect example of what we're all capable of having if we take the chances and going out and get that, you know. If we go out and take the chances of being that vulnerable individual and letting this this new love and this new passion overstep, you know, and supersede the fear that we have all within inside of us, because we all have that fear, you know, but it just comes down to whether or not we're actually going to let that kind of you know, captivate us in this story that we're trying to tell our life. Is it going to be one based around fear and doubt, or is it going to be one based around passion and confidence and desire and actually going out and getting it? That's what we need to figure out, and that's what we need to actually learn how to implement in our life, you know, is taking that step, taking that progression forward, and not allowing us to kind of just sit back in that doubt and that fear while the world just passes us by.
Well, it's survival. Like, even that energy is survival, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that right now in the world, they're trying to tell us everything that is like keeping us the most away from like ultimate survival. Like, they're actually doing the opposite. Survival is going for things. Survival is, we are all built as human beings for survival, and to go into the edge of survival, to go out, right? But they're doing it in a scared form, like, oh, you got to go to a grocery store and you got to do this, like it's like, oh, that's the survival from the fucking the hidden thing, right? Like, it's like, that is not survival. Survival is going into passion, into the boldness, into the truth, into the connection of life. That is also what keeps the species alive, is that passion, literally, by having more babies. So, like, If you're afraid of that and you don't know how to go for that and you're going to stop that in life, then that's the one thing they're not talking about. I know there's some babies being born and people still getting pregnant and stuff, but they actually did a study that this is going to be one of the weirdest years of not as many pregnancies as of all time, right? Because people are like, I'm unsure about this or unsure about that. They're not willing to. So the species now is starting to, are we going to become an endangered species because people are afraid to find that shit? It's like Gattaca, like that movie is gnarly. That's the shit that's coming. I warned about in my pre-2020 video, which is free on highvibe.tv only because I won't put that shit on YouTube. You can just watch it on our free, awesome, I forgot we called that section, but it's free programming that
High Vibe featured free content.
And you can download the app and watch it, or on Apple TV or Roku, or your Android or your iPhone and watch that, or watch it on a computer, highvibe.tv. It's definitely a survival guide for the 2020s and all my predictions that have come true, like literally. So